Hello there, and welcome to Saimores Basement, the only basement where there's a variety TV show. Today, we have a wonderful show planned for you where Tiger Chapman is going to be doing an interview. So, how about we get straight into our intro? Alright dudes, if you remember, like I said, we have an interview. So, Tiger Chapman, over to you. Welcome to KNN News, your casual news network. I am Tiger Chapman, and I am joined with
Eric M. Cooper.
Welcome to KNN News. How does it feel to be on such a news network as this?
Well, Tiger Chapman, it is an honor, a pleasure, and I am most looking forward to the whole damn thing, yes.
That is the way to do it. Now, you write books and stuff. So tell me about your books. Why did you start writing books in the first place?
Well, some of your best writers come from depression stages in their life. So when I turned around 20, 24, 25, I didn't know about what I really want to do in life. And I was overweight, had a lot of issues with my, just personality and my self-image. And I started crying a lot, trying to figure out what's going on in the universe and just trying to figure out what is my attributes to life. And I started thinking about suicide, stuff like that. So like I said, some of the best writers come from a lot of depression.
Right.
I wasn't really mentally that screwed up, but it's just those questions you had in your head as you're growing up is why am I here? What's my importance? And how do I contribute to society?
Right.
So I kind of found myself and I started writing books. And it seems to break that depression was more my therapy in life. And I wanted to actually work for Marvel Comics. And I lost weight to get into a Spider-Man suit. I started doing cosplay of Spider-Man. I was one of very few Black cosplayers doing Spider-Man at the time when I was doing it. And most of the Black community wasn't really part of that just yet. They're still trying to get the understanding of cosplay. But I'm one of the founders, I guess, of the Spider-Man genre for cosplay. And when I lost the weight, I wanted to give a character to Marvel if I could start doing appearances for them as, for book signings, for, grand openings and stuff like that. And it was a Black character. It was before the Miles Morales thing even hit.
Right.
I had my own version of a Black character getting his powers from Peter from a blood transfusion. And I had the whole outline written out. And if I got hired by Marvel, I would submit that as part of my going into working for Marvel. But unfortunately, I got a cease and desist letter from Marvel saying, you're going around in conventions and you're wearing a suit that looks a little too good to our own character. And also we see that you're taking your hood off in public and you're actually Black. Damn. So they weren't ready for that just yet. So,
Right.
And the character I had, they said, well, Eric, what are you going to do with the character? I said, well, I'm not sure what to do with it. I'm depressed. I can't do anything for Marvel now because I got the cease and desist letter. So I said, well, you seem to be intelligent enough. You seem to be very creative. So why don't you create a character of your own and don't rely on Marvel or DC or any other comic book characters to, reinnovate your character. So I sat down for about 3 hours and I came up with a brand new genre, a brand new character. And I actually based it on my own life, which was a little different from all the other creators, where actually he had my face, he had my personality, and I just went with it. But I was able to divulge more of my own conflicts and was able to put on paper. And that was more of my therapy about getting through my depression stages of my life.
So my next question is, what inspired you to write your newest book?
Well,
and what is your newest book? I
Well,
guess
okay.
we
Well,
should start with
I
that.
should start from the very beginning. And well, actually, it's right here on the side. One second. I should have pulled this out earlier, but I didn't. I was being very unusually foolish here. So the very first book of everything. There we go. The very first book is actually called Night Seeker, and Night Seeker was the character I told you about. That at first we were going to make him to be Spider Knight, but then I changed around the logo, but he still has the same colors as the character that I wanted. And he's actually a alien officer, but was deputized. Well, I say he was a human that was deputized by the alien officer to become Night Seeker. So all the powers, the technology, and everything was passed to this human, which was really pretty much me, and that created the whole Bible of my universe that I started creating. So I'm somewhat of the Jack Kirby of, I guess, this genre era. So it's kind of fun that I'm able to mix all these different stories together, and they all correlate to a full out universe that I created. Now the newest one, and I won't go back too far here because it'll take a time to go through all the stuff I've done. But the newest venture that I went into was actually Black Wall Street, and we call it the Greenville Triangle. And this here is something I wanted to get into because I started learning more about Black history and about an era where there were like a full out community of Black owned businesses that were actually in Tulsa, Oklahoma back in the early 1900s. And these guys created their own utopia of Black owned business, Black products, servicing, everything was actually in one community. And they didn't need any outside support because they were supporting themselves. And that was a great genre to go by. But I decided to do something more of a sci-fi twist to it where I can teach the stories of Black history, but also give you an action adventure where you actually can keep the whole, pretty much keeps your attention the whole time. It's not boring. It keeps you very infused into what you're reading.
So, like, what would you say your favorite book that you wrote is?
Whew. You know what? I still have to say it is Night Seeker. There's 3 volumes of it, and I guess because I have the more personal connection to the character because the character is me. But it's hard to top your number one baby.
Right.
Night Seeker is my number one baby, and like I said, it is the Bible of the universe that I created, and everything stems back to that first book.
So, could you see any of your books becoming a movie or some other form of media, like a game or something along the lines of that?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question. And when I started writing Night Seeker and the other books to follow, and the comments I got from a lot of my readers was that it seems as though you written a movie. It wasn't a typical novel the way you written everything. So my very first Night Seeker book was all text. It all was all text only, and only just the cover for illustrations. And when I got to my second book, people said, "Well, Eric, we see so much going on like a movie inside your books. Why don't you put illustrations in the chapters?" So I decided when I got to Night Seeker number 2 was that I would put an illustration each chapter as you go along the book. And we call it a caption novel. And everyone says, yeah, this reads like, even the format of the reading style, you actually think you're reading a movie, you're not reading a typical novel. So when I put pen to paper, you are actually seeing the way I think and the way I formulate everything. And people even use my books now for classes for writing critiques. And it's just an amazing thing that people said, yeah, it reads like a movie. It doesn't read like a typical novel. And that's the most biggest compliment I get from anyone that reads my books.
So, I, Tiger Chapman, have not read your books yet, but I know my friend Leopoldo has. Now, for me, where can I find these books? Where?
Well, yeah, most of my content is actually on Amazon. Either you type in Night Seeker and Eric Eric M. Cooper. Then the other one is called Star Enforcers, is like a mixture of Star Trek and Star Wars. And element Suicide Squad in the middle. The other one is called Merge. Merge is he's almost has somewhat of similar powers to Night Seeker, but a little different. And it takes place in LA. And the last one is the Greenville Triangle. And like I said, the second novel for, I'm sorry, the second volume of Greenville Triangle, I'm actually starting to write in the next 2 weeks. And
Nice.
it's an amazing world. I get to use celebrities here and there in my writing. And Patrick Stewart is one of the biggest celebrities I have in my books, and he loves his character. He's the devil's messenger. And he has a big part in the Greenville Triangle. And I just enjoy this stuff, man. I really enjoy this stuff a
Right.
lot.
So when you're drawing things or when you're thinking of illustrations to put in the books, how do
Yeah.
you figure out where everyone's going to be, what everyone's going to look like, and how everything is going to be in that drawing?
You know what? It's funny. I don't do illustrations. I hire work for hire. I deal with different artists around the country because I go to all these Comic Cons, and if I see a person in a certain style that I like and is very distinct, I will approach that person and say, "Look, this is what I do. I'm a writer. I don't really do illustration. I can sketch here and there, but I rather leave the illustrations to people that are actually doing well." And I just give them like, "Look, I I will write out the outline of what to draw. Here's the image of people that kind of look like this character, and here's the ensemble of the dress code, what they wear, and what their powers are." And then the artists have enough there to illustrate the full out character, the profile, and everything. But also the scenes are I can write more like a comic book writer where I give them the angle, I give them what's going on inside the panel and everything to give them enough essence to draw out the whole thing. And normally I tell them, say, look, just make a thumbnail sketch. And then me or the art director, which I use now is Phoenix Nebula. You will look through it to make sure it's on point and then go to town on it. And the artists love the idea that we give them feedback and that we critique them and that we make sure that the product comes out properly. And so we're very trusted what we do. And the fans love what I've done so far, and it's great.
So I think that I do believe that is all my questions. Is it? Let's see.
You can have more if you want to, it's fine.
Uh, let's see. So one of my questions was, what would you be doing if you didn't write books? Like, would you be doing some sort of art or something completely different?
Well, actually, I actually still might pursue this maybe next 5 or 6 years from now. Um, I want to become a psychologist for people who have, I guess, bedroom issues. It's going to be an interesting little genre I'll probably take up next 5 years from now, which I don't need a license for, which is great. But I would still love to be a director for movies if I can, or at least be on the board of panels where, yes, this movie I think will be well to produce. Because the thing is, lately, is coming out stuff is just all these rehashes, and it's like it's BS. Where
Right.
are the true creators at? Where are the people that have new original ideas to come to the forefront and produce a good product? Because right now everything's all rehashed. No one's taking a chance on anything new and different. And I only part of that panel where, look, this is new. This should be hot. I have a decent common sense to what I'm seeing, and I see that it can be illustrated on film or in the comic books or whatever it's going to be. And I want to be the guy that green lights projects. That's what I want to do. And I love the idea of, well, I don't know, your father told you, or grandfather say, about the Black Label Comic Con in Philly.
Yes. Yes.
And that I decided to do something very, very different for a Comic Con where all the artists or writers involved in this, they have their own individual unique products. It's not Marvel, it's not DC, it's not Image, it's not Dark Horse. They have their own individual properties that they have patented or have copyrights to, where they display that as their main motif on the selling floor, where this is a proving con. It's proving what you have. It proves how much you believe in what you have. And I've always said, if you believe what you got, you should be at Black Label Comic Con to sell and tell the community about your product. So Black Label Comic Con, in essence, is the Tribeca film of comic books. And I want to make sure we keep that tight niche community where anyone come up from Hollywood, from TV, here are all the new ideas. here it is at this one particular location. If you want something new and fresh, come to this. This is where it's at.
Okay, so that is all my questions. However,
Mhm.
I always ask this one question, and you don't have to do it, but I have a dance, or Zabor has a dance called the Life Alert, because it looks like you need help. Now, I was wondering, would you be willing to do the Life Alert?
Life alerts?
I can show you how to do it. I can show you how to do it.
Oh, do tell.
All right, so it's like this, right? Because it looks like you need help. So it looks like you need like the Life Alert.
Yeah, they count. Yeah.
So would you be able to do that?
I believe so. Let me make sure the camera's in the right position. Yeah,
Right.
So
It's like the yeah. Yep.
now if I had music, even better, you know. Now, as far as Black Label though, we will have the most unique, diverse music ever at a Comic-Con. And if you haven't been there, you need to go.
All right. Well, maybe I'll be there.
I plan on you being there.
Oh, all right. Well, thank you for joining me on KNN News, your casual news network. I'm Tiger Chapman, signing off. Alright, everyone. I do believe that is all we have for today. Hello. Hello there, Zaymore. I am Avaz, the Wizard of Oz. Avaz. I'm here because I turned 12,000 years old today. 12,000 years old? Wow. I was wondering if you could throw a party. A party? Sure. Yeah, I can throw you a party. How did you find us, though? How did you find me? Well, you see, I'm here because I saw you on the internet, and I figured you look stupid enough that you could throw me a party. The internet is a good place, I guess. Alright, sure. I'll be back in a few days. You'll be back in a few days. Alright, my friend. I'll see you in a few days then. Alright, everyone. I guess I have a party to plan. I'm kind of scared now. That was crazy. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.